Hello, wonderful interpreters, and thank you again for tuning in. Let's get right into it. December 1st was the day when Illini had to submit a report to the legislature to explain whether or not they were able to submit the implementation by then. This was possible because earlier this year, we had the opportunity to meet with Senator Curtis King from Yakima, thanks to our own Anastasio Lepe. Senator King was able to pass our combined amendment, and it was adopted on March 4th earlier this year. The reality is that Illini has been working on this for more than 2 years, and they were supposed to implement the bill by September 1st, but were not successful. They later said it would happen sometime this fall. Nothing happened in October or November, and they should have submitted the legislative report to the legislature on December 1st. We will update you on the report status as soon as we are able. While Illini can still implement this system anytime before the end of the year, so far they have failed. It seems that they don't have enough providers signing up for their scheduling system, coupled with the fact that most medical providers and stakeholders strongly oppose the implementation without a dual system to ensure continuity of care. As you have seen, we have interviewed several providers which have expressed their disagreement. We have also encouraged our fellow Washingtonians to call the governor and to tell him to keep jobs in Washington state, to direct Illini to establish a dual system. So thank you for your unwavering support, cooperation, and please keep calling Governor Inslee following the instructions on the screen. On another note, a particular interpreter emailed us the other day sharing their comments about an email shared by Local 1671 containing a very interesting attachment. So welcome to another episode of Wfse Shenanigans. After we have exposed them time after time, showing you their involvement with interpreting works, My Language Link, eliminating mileage reimbursement for their members, influencing Illini to remove our mileage, and for lying about how they use their members' dues money for direct political contributions, among other things, they now are back to their old strategy of listing their so-called accomplishments and trying to deceive people by manipulating data. Here they are addressing the supposed unfair appointment distribution in the Illini system, saying that 300 agency owners and direct biller interpreters made $11 million, 68%, while 800 plus split the remaining $5 million. Now, this is a very deceptive pie chart. The fellow interpreter who shared this with us effectively pointed out how this illustration makes you think that it's giving you information, but it's not. The reality is that most, if not all, interpreters in the Illini system get the bulk of their hours from an agency. Also, most, if not all, direct billers still get lots of hours weekly from an agency of their choosing. And that's the key element here, choosing. We have the ability to choose when we get hours from an agency and when to have our own hours and bill directly. But Wfse Local 1671 leaders despise us for billing directly, and they keep on pushing minor examples of fraud by some businesses and interpreters. The reality is, my friends, that at least 10% of fraud is common across the state agencies. And Illini is no different. We already have plenty of choices and the distribution of appointments because of the many choices that we have. Wfse despises our ability to exist as independent interpreters and agencies because they want to have a monopoly of their own, a mega agency with ties to their own leaders to manage a centralized scheduling system and ensure that they get their union dues, creating a bureaucratic mess and making us all peons that work for the state. Their plans can materialize while you and I have the freedom to bill directly or to contract with a language agency of our choosing. That's why they want to destroy us, selectively picking examples of a few bad apples and manipulating data with bogus claims of unfair appointment distribution. Having a scheduling system as the only option is the real unfair situation. Competing online for appointments by how fast you click and not having enough hours to support ourselves and our families? This system is unfair to us, to medical providers that wouldn't be able to choose the interpreters they know and trust, and for patients that wouldn't have continuity of care. Washington interpreters exists to ensure that we preserve our independence and freedom to choose. Now, the last update for this video is about the election process. As you know, we were the first union to file for the election. Why is that important? Let me tell you. Because to file first, you have to have at least 30% of cards signed from workers. No other labor organization has been able to accomplish that. Only we, Washington interpreters, have been able to achieve it. Wfse filed only after we did. Anybody after us is only required to show you 10% of signed cards. Any other organization willing to compete with us can file, of course, but PERC has to verify their cards to make sure that they do have at least 10%. It is yet to be seen if any other organization will be able to participate in the election with us or not. Right now, we as Washington interpreters are in the lead by far. And we are still asking those of you who haven't signed with us to please sign so that we grow the lead that we have. It doesn't matter if you already signed with Wfse or any other organization in the past. You can still help us secure the election to make this happen. We have to make sure that Wfse doesn't win. We can't have anybody interfere with that. When you sign your card with us, it remains private. I want you to remember that. Only PERC gets notified, and it is right for you to do it, and it is your right as a worker to sign with the union of your choosing. So please follow the instructions in the description box of this video to sign our card. Now, let me level with you. In closing, I want to say this. We have the biggest, largest union, Wfse, coming after us, Illini interpreters. We have to understand this. And they're coming after us with all of their resources. Now, yes, we as Washington interpreters are the only threat to their plans of getting rid of our independence and our freedom to choose. We are the only ones in their way. We have passed amendments to their bills, and we have made Illini accountable with our legislative action. We don't have time for any more infighting. Please, the more we are divided, the more Wfse wins. So, we are still inviting those of you who may still be on the fence to support us. We need to squash whatever differences we may have because we all want the same. This is very important. Let's preserve our way of life and our beautiful profession. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't to keep on getting more relevant information for our interpreting community. See you in the next video, and as always, God bless.